Hey guys, if all you want to know is just how a sustain pedal or a tap tempo pedal works, all it does is it touches the tip of the 1/4" cable to the sleeve and it makes that connection, and that's what either engages the tap tempo or enables the sustain on a keyboard. So I know some of you, that's all the information you need and you could go build your own from that, but if you want to learn more and how I made mine, then keep watching. Wouldn't it be nice if this M Audio keyboard had a sustain? Well, it does, but you have to buy the pedal, or you can manually adjust the effects. I'm just using GarageBand on my MacBook Pro. But the problem with buying the pedal is it costs money. So I looked up how they're made, and it's really pretty simple. So I decided to make my own. Looks like this right now. I will eventually put it in an enclosure, but I'll show you. Plug it into the sustain spot, the 1/4" jack, and a switch. No sustain. Hold my button down. Look at that. Beautiful. Another thing that you can use this kind of switch for is for a tap tempo switch on a Boss DD7, which I will be getting here in a couple of days. I just ordered it. But it works exactly the same way as a sustain pedal does. So if you want to make a Boss tap tempo switch, here you go. If you want to make a sustain pedal, here you go. Or if you want to use a sustain pedal that you have for one of these as a tap tempo switch, that would work as well. Or you could use a tap tempo switch by Boss and use it for a sustain pedal. It all works the same, but I found it was very inexpensive and easy to just make my own, so I did. I'll show you how it's made. Okay, here's how it works. A 1/4" cable like this is the one that your guitar uses, and it's super simple. There's only 2 wires going into it. One wire goes to the sleeve, and one wire goes to the tip. There's only 2 wires in the cable. So, what a tap tempo switch does, or a sustain switch does, is it connects the sleeve with the tip of the wire, or the plug, sorry. So, that is all that my switch is doing. So I have my jack here, and I looked inside of it to tell which wires go to which. This red wire here is going to the tip, where the tip would go if it's plugged in here. And then this black wire here is going to where the sleeve would touch if it's plugged in here. And this switch, when you press it, it connects these 2 wires together, and then when you release it, it breaks the circuit. And that's all a sustain pedal or a Boss pedal looks for, is it just looks to see if the circuit is complete or not. If we want to think about it in ones and zeros over here, and like in programming, if you think of a 1 being pressed as in true and a 0 being not pressed, like as in false, then every time you press the button, it creates the circuit and then sends back a 1. Or the pedal recognizes a complete circuit as a 1, and it recognizes a incomplete circle when it's not pressed as a 0. So, how a tap tempo works is it just recognizes how far apart those 1s are. Every time you tap it, it would send a 1 back to the pedal, and it determines how far apart those 1s are, and that's how it determines your tempo. A sustain pedal works pretty much the same way. If you press it down, the keyboard connected to the computer recognizes that there's a connection there, so it turns your sustain on. If you aren't pushing it down, the keyboard recognizes there's not a complete connection, so it turns the sustain off. So it's extremely simple, and if you want a closer look of how it's made, there you go. There you go, that's all it is. 2 wires going into a switch. All the switch has to do is complete that connection. When you're looking for switches, be sure to get one if you're going to use it for tap tempo, be sure to get one that is a momentary switch, meaning it's only on when you push it down, and as soon as you release it, it'll turn off. Because there's switches that look like this, where when you push them one time they're on, and you push them again they're off. So if you use that for a tap tempo delay, it wouldn't be connecting every time you're pushing it, it would be connecting every other time you're pushing it. So that's probably not what you want for a delay pedal. Maybe if you wanted to make a sustain pedal that's always on, then that could be something you could do, but that is not how my switch works. Hey, so I just finished making an enclosure for my pedal. The wiring is exactly the same in there, it's just the 1/4" jack going into the switch on the top. I just got some metal and then bent over the sides and made a little box. I don't have a bottom for it yet, but yeah, let's see if it still works. No sustain. We're going to hold down my button. All the sustain in the world. There you go. That's how you make a cheap either tap tempo for your delay pedal or a sustain pedal. Yep. Yep. Have a good one.